Okay, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Michael James, and I decided to start this page to showcase my sculpting and to teach people some ways to sculpt that are not really what you would learn from an art school. I guess that's the best way of saying it. And it's also a page where we discuss pop culture, movies, comics, toys, special effects, collecting. We will address some issues that might be a little political, but we're going to address those from the point of just an everyday Joe working on the street, or an everyday Jane working, that gets up and goes to work and comes home and lives paycheck to paycheck. Owning your own business is not what everybody thinks it is. You are not an uber wealthy person. There are a lot of times where we are literally working and that money is going out on electric, it's going out on shipments, it's going out on rent. We don't spend the money that is made in this store on our personal lives. It's not how it works. We've had a lot going on this year, COVID, riots, all the stuff with race, and all the stuff with the politics, and wear a mask, don't wear a mask. We may address some of those things, but when we do, we're going to address it from our own opinion of it. We don't expect you to say, okay, you're right, you have your right to disagree. We're not here to force an agenda. We just want to have fun. And we're going to start with the pop culture part first. Hasbro Pulse, the last 2 days, had been posting, these were exclusives. And Brian will talk to you about that, what's going on today with Hasbro. And then we're going to show you some toys and some stuff. This is a disclaimer. This is not intended to try and get children to buy stuff. This is simply us talking about toys, collecting. If you're underage and you see something here that you want to get, that is something you need to talk to your parents about. This is no way us trying to make money off children. Let's just put it that way. So that being said, I'm going to hand this part of it over to Brian. I'll have some questions. If you have any questions after this video is done, make sure you put it in the comments or email us or private messages, and we can try to address those in other videos. Real quickly, the studio's name, One-Eyed Fat Man Studios, was, of course, hello. No, this is not just for the video. I had a stroke 5 years ago. Half of my face is paralyzed. And when I started wearing the eye patch, a friend of mine referred to me as Rooster. And for those of you who do not know, Rooster is Rooster Cogburn, played by John Wayne in True Grit. Jeff Bridges played him in a remake or updated movie several years ago. But I was struggling for a name for my sculpting studios, and I'm a big John Wayne fan, and so One-Eyed Fat Man, which is a phrase from that movie, I call that bold talk for a one-eyed fat man, will fill your hand, you son of a beep, and go watch the movie. So that's why the studio is called One-Eyed Fat Man Studios. And with that being said, let's get into Hasbro Pulse and what's been going on the last 3 days.
PulseCon has been going on, Hasbro's online virtual con, since the COVID-19 crisis and everything being canceled. They decided to offer their San Diego Comic-Con and their Star Wars Celebration items this week.
And there are online cons going on right now, right?
Yes.
So
they just had their Star Wars reveal. Earlier today was Magic the Gathering, Dungeons and Dragons, and Hero Quest.
Wow. A lot of good stuff coming out of that.
Oh, yeah.
I know they showed the Ahsoka Tano that's life-size lightsaber, which has the removable kyber crystal. I used to have 8 or 9 of the master replica sabers, which unfortunately, due to some really bad stuff happening, we had to sell those. What are some of the ones that you saw on there that you think are really, I know you like them all, but what were the ones that stuck out to you?
The Armorer from Mandalorian Deluxe Armorer. Comes with a helmet and Forge effects.
And that one's going to have like the slip cover, like the exclusive Snake Eyes, correct?
Yes.
Now, was that a Pulse exclusive?
It'll be a Pulse exclusive. It'll be a fan channel exclusive.
Okay,
Maybe,
now what
maybe
was the
a Pulse
Snake Eyes?
exclusive. Snake Eyes was a Pulse exclusive.
Okay. So, you've got G.I. Joe Classified that's releasing stuff now. You've got...
the Joe panel will be tomorrow.
Joe panels tomorrow. There's a whole wave of retro figures, and then there's the 7-inch classified figures. We talked about that on our Facebook page, and like the Target exclusive Baroness. I know, Brian, I think you've only ever actually seen them when we got them in here.
Yeah.
And
I've never seen them on the shelf.
We actually are having to buy these from a third party because we're having trouble ordering directly. And unfortunately, you know, it's not retail, but this person has been giving us some really good pricing. The Baroness, she retails for $40.
Yes, $39.99.
And we paid $67, so we're still below $100, which is pretty good because evidently they're $200 on Amazon. So they are out there. Hopefully you people will find them at Target and some of the other exclusives that are going to Walmart, Walgreens, Best Buy. You know, what was a couple, there was another one. There was Best Buy, Walgreens, Walmart, Target.
Amazon.
GameStop. So there's a lot of exclusives that are coming out. The basic Cobra Commander, Gung Ho.
Red Ninja.
The Red Ninja, they're showing up.
If you can find them.
The Target exclusives were Baroness, Beachhead, Cobra Trooper, and of course now Roadblock had a previous figure in a basic wave of the first 5.
Out of the 4, he's the easiest to find.
Now the Arctic, he's an Amazon, Storm Shadow. So, you know, these figures are out there. They retail for about $25. Is that right?
20 to 25.
So, keep an eye out for them. Personally, I would tell people if you're shopping for the figures, I wouldn't pay more than $37 for a figure. You know, you can ship it through the post office in one of their small, if it fits, it ships boxes for $5. So, ask around, pay attention. There are people out there. Marketplace, we're seeing a lot of them on there. Black Series, let's get into Black Series. The Rebels Wave, the Target Galaxy's Edge Wave. Now, they had a vehicle for Galaxy's Edge, correct? And we have one of those here.
The Smuggler's Run Millennium Falcon.
All right, well, let's get this up here. This is a big piece, guys. We're going to put it up here so y'all can see it. This is the Galaxy's Edge Smuggler's Run Millennium Falcon. And it comes with what, Brian?
Hondo Meccano, Chewbacca, and Porgs.
What's this stuff?
And some cargo.
Cargo and interchangeable radar dishes.
Yes. And an updated sound chip.
Cool. Now this retails for
$499.99.
Okay. So this one, unfortunately, is not $499.99, but it is still fairly reasonable. We had to pay secondary market, but like I said, this guy is very reasonable. He's doing a lot for us, and it's beneficial. So this is the Target exclusive Millennium Falcon. I'll turn it around so you can see on that side. Is the back different from the front? No. So, very big. I'm 6 foot, or 5'11" and a half, now that I'm fat compacting. And we also have a, now this one is a vintage Star Wars
with vintage collection.
Vintage collection. Now this one is from the Star Wars store, live sale exclusive, and this is signed by Daniel Logan. This is number 37 of 60, and this is the Slave One. And of course this goes more in hand with the 3 3/4 figures. But if you look at the stuff on it here, the detailing from this to the regular Power of the Force and the original, you know, Empire and Jedi Slave ones from the 70s and 80s, this is a much nicer looking figure. You've got stuff over here. So, these are pretty cool. What's what?
Got Han and Carbonite.
Yes, Han and Carbonite has always come with them, which is cool. They did do a Black Series figure of that for the 40th anniversary, which is really cool.
Yeah.
And so we've got that. We do have stuff like this comes in on a regular basis. Why don't you show them the Walmart exclusive clone that we got?
Yeah, this clone is a Walgreens exclusive.
That's a Walgreens. Now, locally, Walgreens is being really smart about these. They're actually putting them behind the counter. Now, I don't know if every state's doing it, but they put them behind the counter, and they're limited to 1 per customer. So there are some Walgreens that are trying to help keep it out of the hands of scalpers and stuff like that. And that's really beneficial for people that collect. And with Pulse going on right now, people are, a Pulse member gets early access to purchases for, so what did you wind up getting the day before yesterday there?
I got the Serpent Supreme Cobra Commander, which was exclusive, and the Heroes of Endor box set from Black Series. My cousin got the Pit of Judgment from Transformers and Louis Tully's Terrible Night from Ghostbusters, which is Louis Tully and the Demon Dog.
Okay. And which one do you think is the neatest? I kind of thought the Transformers one, because it came with Kranix, the Quintesson, a Sharkticon, and
the Alligatorcon.
Yeah, so this is a pretty good set, guys. So, and just so you realize, I mean, you can see here in the background, this is a functioning business. We are a brick and mortar store, as you see. These are comic books. This is autographs of different superhero people from Tom Hiddleston, Helen Slater, just a little bit of everybody. So when we talk about pop culture, we're all over the place with it. So you want to kind of make sure that when you tune in for the videos that you're actually, if you're not into pop culture and you just want the sculpting part, you might have to fast forward through the video. But we're kind of want to focus on, right now it's a good time to be a collector, simply because you've got a brand new wave of G.I. Joe figures out, and they're not just rehashed old sculpts. And I'm talking about the classified line, because these are 7-inch figures and they've never been made before. Now the retro stuff is very reminiscent of the 25th anniversary G.I. Joe stuff. There's new Godzilla figures. There's new Halloween. There's Friday the 13th. There's Ash vs. the Evil Dead. You got a whole line of figures coming out from NECA. I don't have one to show you, but they just released the 33 King Kong NECA figure, and it's amazing. A lot of people are criticizing it, but I've seen the Mezco figure they did for the 33, and the NECA figure looks more like the 33 King Kong than the Mezco did. So hopefully when Godzilla vs. Kong comes out, SH Monster Arts will make us a really good Kong from the Skull Island Monsterverse wave. Now that we've talked about pop culture and we've gone over a little bit with the Hasbro Pulse, or what's it called, PulseCon, is that what they're calling it? going on right now. You can actually go watch that right now. So, this video will be posted here in a few minutes. People should get a notification. And now it's time to go through those standard, hit like, subscribe. Check us out on Patreon. Your money goes to help buy sculpting supplies. I'm desperately in need of a chair because I got one and put it together and it lasted like 2 months. Somebody sat in it and it basically crapped out and broke, and it was not a good design chair. So very disappointed with that. It goes to help buy clay. It goes to help when I teach people, because I do teach people here from time to time how to sculpt. And it helps us continue to do videos where we're going to be doing stuff live from a fall festival in November, the second Saturday in November. We will be at the Fall Festival at Parkway Drive-In in Knoxville, Tennessee, or Maryville, Tennessee, and it will be from 10 to dusk. Brian will be there. They'll be doing their Pop Chaos podcast. He will be doing tutorials on repairing vintage toys. I will be at the convention sculpting. We will also be there with a separate booth for, merchandise. We're going to have live wrestling with Psycho Wrestling. We will have a live DJ. The General Lee and Roscoe's Patrol Car will be there. There will be pop culture and oddity people from around the country there. Admission is $2. So check it out. Check the page out for more stuff. Now we're going to get into the sculpting part. So I'm going to get up here and take a bunch of space, and I'm going to go with you. Basically, I want to show you how to make a hand. And I'm not going to do this in time lapse, but what I do when I make hands for most anything is I use this same, and I found out later, and I've just always done it this way. I've never had a sculpting lesson. I started sculpting in kindergarten when I made a T-Rex and a Triceratops, and it freaked everybody out because I just knew how to do it, and I've been doing it since. I did not go to college for it because I had an art teacher that told me that I did not, well, what I did was an art. So you can see what I'm working on for a customer, which is the Stan Winston unused 94 Godzilla design. I did do a custom dorsal spine for it that was not part of his design. If our cameraman here will turn around, this is the King Kong versus Godzilla I did this year. That is a massive piece. Godzilla stretched out is almost 4 foot long. He stands in at just a hair shy of 2 foot tall. On the counter over here to the left of the camera person is a run of the Thing from Another World I did. I also have a 2.5 foot tall Predator in the back that I did. We don't have all that out here. This is a commission for a local policeman that does bomb disposal, and he wanted a statue made of him in his gear. So a little bit of everything. I also am teaching my kids to sculpt. That is the beginning over there of my 12-year-old's King Kong from 1976 standing on the World Trade Center towers. So anyway, let's do this. So I roll out what Ace of Clay calls a snake of clay. That was one of the reasons I decided to do this channel, was watching him on his channel, and I posted some photos on his page, and the response was very encouraging. So you're going to cut this for the fingers, and Now, I'm not going to go into the detailing of this hand with uber details. I've never done a 10-hour sculpt in my life. It's because I can't sculpt everything. So you want to kind of look at how your fingers are, and you want to start putting it together based on that. Once you've got these pieces together, you bring your thumb and you put it right across. Let me turn this light on, you might be able to see. Is that better or worse? So this is how you're going to lay the clay over there. Now what you're going to do is you're going to... That finger is a little wonky, so I'm going to... There we go. A little pointy, let's put it that way. So we're going to put that back in there at about right there. Yeah, that works. Alright, now, I'm going to take a piece of clay, a little peel of clay like so, and you're going to place it here. Then you're going to take 2 pieces of clay and kind of flatten them like so, and attach them at the top here to make the top part of your hand, and then you're going to want to kind of smooth them out. You're then going to take this and you're going to flatten it, and you're going to lay it over part of the thumb. Now we're going to switch the hand over. We switch the hand over. Oh, it's right there. I take a piece of clay, and what starts out as a triangle, okay, make sure it's the right size. And we're going to cut some of that off. Now, a lot of my tools are tools I bought at Hobby Lobby. The silicone shapers I use are actually paint erasers. And you can get a 3-pack of them at Hobby Lobby for about $9.99. And you can pull up a coupon that gives you 40% off that you can use once a day. Save you some money. These were bought in the model department of Hobby Lobby. My business partner was the first person to ever buy me sculpting tools. I use medium monster clay, and of course the gray only comes in medium right now, so even if I use brown, I use medium. I find it gives me the trying to think of the word to use. I just had a brain fart. And then we're going to place this here, another little triangle on the hand. Now you want to spread the fingers and you want to roll out another snake of clay, trademarked by our friend from Ace of Clay. I don't know his real name, so that's probably really bad, but I'm going to give credit where credit is due. Then I place this here, so in between the fingers. And now bear in mind, I've not really smoothed anything down yet. So these pieces are actually just kind of placed where they need to be. And get that done. Kind of cut that off there. This one needs to be smoothed in here. So now you have your hand. We're going to use the same piece. Sorry, I have to drink a lot. From the paralysis, one of my saliva glands does not work, so I actually have to drink a lot to keep from having dry mouth. And so you'll see me drinking a lot. No, it's not alcohol. I promise. So now we're making the knuckles out of pieces of clay. We're just kind of putting them where they need to be. You will get a feel for how big something needs to be when you do this over and over. So, and you may put it together, if you use this process, you might put it together, the stages might be different, but you know, that's fine. Everybody is going to do something a little different. I started making hands this way about 5 years ago, because what I would do is I would roll out clay and I would cut the fingers out, and I kept having so much trouble because it just didn't look like a hand, and I kept looking at ways that I could build it up. I've watched a lot of videos and kind of taking different techniques that I've seen and then coming up with this one. So, I don't know if I'm the first one to do it this way or not, but it works. Now, one of the things you can do on the side here, where you see this, where you've laid your clay, and this is something you can kind of do, is just real quickly run a cigarette lighter over it, and you've softened all that clay up to where you can kind of make it disappear into itself. See that? Now, right here, I cut all that off. So at this point, I don't need it. And with if I'm the right one, with a ball stylus, I begin to smooth everything in. Actually, I'm going to use this tool because it gives me more coverage. Okay, so and just continue to smooth in. And the good thing about monster clay and clays that stay soft or soft until you bake them is that it is a very forgivable medium. You will find that medium, and I'm putting in another little triangle of clay right here between the thumb and the forefinger, and I'm smoothing that in together. This is between the fingers, smoothing it into the palm of the hand. And now we're going to flip it over, and we're going to do the top of the hand, smoothing everything down. Then we're going to do the knuckles. So pushing them into the fingers. Now, it's going to give your hand a very weird look at first, but I promise you it will become natural looking. You can make the knuckles a little longer for smoothing purposes, so it gives you less to do at the end of the process of smoothing. And basically you just stretch the knuckle out onto the finger and use a little less clay when you're making the knuckle. All these things will work. So, anyway, then we come back with our tool or our ball stylus, whichever one works for you, and we smooth that in there. So, I'm sorry my hand's in the way a lot, but this is a very small hand I'm making here. Now we kind of look at our fingers. There's areas that still need to be smooth, but now we start turning this finger into a finger instead of just a snake of clay. And I love the phrase snake of clays. I would always say, oh, these little logs of clay, little tubes of clay, and then I heard him say it, and I'm like, you know what? Why didn't I think of that? But, you know, I'm glad someone come up with it. I have a friend who worked for Steve Johnson Special Effects years ago, and when you're sculpting and you have all those little pieces of clay that build up, he started calling them pills of clay, and I was like, man, another phrase. So now we've got the hand, and now the fun part. We need the joints. Okay, now I'm not going to detail every knuckle on this, because I kind of want this video to not be 2 hours long. And being very OCD when I sculpt, and what was it you said, that I'm a perfectionist when it comes to sculpting, or I'm too nitpicky?
She said anal retentive.
Anal retentive, yep, that's what my wife calls me, because I resculpted this Godzilla's head 12 times before I actually got it to where I wanted it. So anyway, now we're going to take our ball stylus and we're going to pull back from the fingers. And Monster clay can be smoothed with alcohol. It can be smoothed with mineral spirits. I suggest odorless mineral spirits if you use mineral spirits, because yes, it can and does and will smell terrible, and you'll be sculpting with a happy face because you will be getting high as a kite. So now the pad of the hand here needs to be built up a little, so we're going to take a little bit of clay and we're going to throw right there into the pad of the hand. And I forgot that when I did it initially, so trying to do a short video and I forgot part of my process. So we're going to smooth it, and then you pay attention to how your hand actually looks in real life, and you bring your clay over and you start working on this, the palm of the hand. And so you may have to add to or take clay away, but just be aware of where you're working and what you're doing. Keep referring to your own hand or pull up a picture. It is very important when you're doing something or doing a creature, Godzilla, Frankenstein. You know, you want to have some reference material, because even if you're trying to do a totally different Frankenstein, you're going to want reference material so that when you're doing it, you're at least... If somebody commissions you to make Boris Karloff's Frankenstein, you know, pull up your reference material. If somebody says make your own version of Frankenstein's monster, I didn't say monster, so that's on me. Now we're doing the knuckles, so we're kind of bending the hands. And how you doing, Paul?
How you doing, brother?
See, you got engaged.
I sure did.
Congratulations, brother.
Thank you. Thank you.
So we're giving our hand the knuckles, and then we're looking. And the easiest way is to take something flat. What? You're making funny faces. Did I miss something?
Charles is looking for his ride.
Oh.
Hey, bro, when you get a chance, give me a call later.
I will.
Yes, sir. Y'all have a good day.
You too, brother. So, now we've got fingers.
He's going to do it for $250 now. If you have to buy them and pick them up, he's making everybody pick them up at my store.
So, here we go.
Plus, I'm hoping you come up anyway, so maybe talk you out of some other good stuff.
We have a hand that is relatively complete
Yep.
in a very short period of time. So, here we go. And ladies and gentlemen, we have a non-detailed
Yeah, I can text it to her.
humanoid hand.
Hey, baby, call Greg.
Okay, yeah, I'll text it where the driving is and I'll send
Call him on Messenger.
a link to the flyers and everything. And if you guys got
Alright, I'll have
a
Gabe do
link
it.
or whatever to your like trailer or whatever,
Alright.
text that to me so we can
No
put that on the
fingernails,
flyer.
no creases for the knuckles, none of that.
Alright, I appreciate it.
When you smooth something like this out with mineral spirits,
Just called you.
to take away a lot of the sculpting or conditioning, I guess is what they call it with Sculpey. I don't use Sculpey a lot, but you continue to go over it with the mineral spirits to remove a lot of the sculpting lines. And then once you've got it ready for your creature or your person, you can attach it and then you can detail it more from there. But you don't want to put a lot of detail into it before it's actually put onto said creature, because you're going to be touching it, it's going to get fingerprints in it, and if you're making a mold off of monster clay, you definitely don't want a lot of fingerprints in it, because that's a lot of sanding. So, now we've done that with that. Now I'm going to take a dry brush and I'm going to go in and remove the excess where the mineral spirits soften the clay and remove some of it. And ladies and gentlemen, I give you a human hand. So that is how I do hands. Now you can do more to this. You can take a cloth and this is still kind of warm, but say you wanted to thicken the wrist up,
We'll figure it out, brother. I promise.
well, you just add some clay to it, figure out how much you need, okay? If there's anything that doesn't look anatomically correct, you can add to, you can take away. The good thing with clay like this that doesn't air dry is it's forgivable. It's very forgivable, and it's a great medium. Now, a lot of people think that monster clay, you make something out of monster clay, and you're going to make a mold out of it. It's going to have a mold. That's the only way you can sell it. I particularly sell the actual clay. If someone comes in and they commission me to do a statue or a figure, they get the actual sculpt. I don't keep it. If it's something I want to sell, more than one, I'll make a mold of it. But normally the customer gets the actual sculpt. So you've got a hand here, and it is ready. Now, you want to make it a monster hand? It's real simple. Roll you out some clay, add to the fingers, give it some real gnarly fingernails. There's so much that you can do with it. And of course, you want more. There's just so much. You can have the hand kind of doing the whole bend. I mean, there's a lot you can do with it. So there you have a very quick hand done out of monster clay. I don't know how long it took. I didn't time it, but the video is how long total?
40.
40 minutes, so say 10 minutes. for the hand. I don't know. Anyway, there's your beginning. Later on, we'll start doing, as I get everything ready, we'll do the time-lapse videos, and we will kind of separate the actual pop culture stuff. If it's going to be a very long sculpting video, just getting used to it. Once again, if you like the video, hit like, hit subscribe. Check us out on Facebook, on Twitter. Make sure you check our Patreon account. It's very hard to get clay right now because Monster Makers is only sending to their distributors, so I'm having to buy clay from other people that sculpt, and I ordered 8 tubs of clay the other day, 2 days ago, and yesterday they sent me a message saying that they were out of clay, that they couldn't get it from Monster Makers. Did I want to wait on it? And I chose to get a refund, and I guess for now I may have to go back to the brown solely, but it does help us buy clay. It does help me to continue to teach children how to sculpt. I do that here. I'm doing it now online. I do it in the store. So here we have a hand out of clay, and I hope you've enjoyed the video. I hope that you've learned something. I will get better as I go. And my name is Michael with One-Eyed Fat Man Studios, and I'll catch you next time. Have a great day.